Okay, Mission Control, February 9th, 1971, we are beginning re-entry. Mission time 9 days, and we are looking good for re-entry.
CBS Television presents a special report on Sputnik 1, the Soviet space satellite. Douglas Edwards reporting.
Until 2 days ago, that sound had never been heard on this Earth. Suddenly, it has become as much a part of 20th century life as the whir of your vacuum cleaner. It's a report from man's farthest frontier, the radio signal transmitted by the Soviet Sputnik, the first man-made satellite as it passed over New York earlier today.
Scientists believe that it's necessary for the U.S. to start funding our own space program to rival that of the USSR. If this does not start soon, there could be potentially many problems to follow in suit. It's necessary to block all potential threats from the current Soviet satellite up in space.
Is it possible that it is transmitting a code, not just a beep signal for radio listening?
Yes, it's quite possible that it's transmitting a code, but we don't realize what the code is.
So, we're counting on you, the Americans, to start fighting for our own space program. The arms race has been fiercely competitive between the US and the USSR. Space race is the next step in this. Since the USSR has the right to go up into space, that means the US definitely has the right to follow in suit and go up into space to do our own research.
I today signed the National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. The enactment of this legislation is an historic step, further equipping the United States for leadership in the space age. I wish to commend the Congress for the promptness with which it was created, the organization provided the authority needed for an effective national effort in the fields of aeronautics and space exploration. The enactment of the law establishing the NACA in 1915 proved a decisive step in the advancement of our civil and military aviation. The Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958 should have an even greater impact for our future.
Okay, and now switching to Thomas Glennon.
As the first administrator of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, I come before the press today on April 9, 1959 to discuss the future of our manned space program. As many of you know, great steps have been taken to catalyze the progression of our first manned space program, Project Mercury.
Alan Shepard, I want to congratulate you as being selected part of the Mercury mission for your skills and experience as a test pilot in the Navy.
Thank you.
110 candidates were chosen from the various branches of our military because we needed experienced pilots. Previously, the selection process had occurred when the project was only on paper. Now we have narrowed the possible men to a mere 7. All 110 candidates involved were screened with psychological tests, psychiatric interviews, and IQ tests. Grueling physical tests were conducted to ensure the health of the brave men in the many situations they may encounter. They have learned environmental studies and physical studies to become experts in the field of space exploration. These incredible men are in the peak psychological and physical shape and have near genius intellect. As of now, they are the future of our space program, and so the names. From the Air Force, Leroy Cooper, Virgil Grissom, and Donald Clayton. From the Navy, Malcolm Carpenter, Alan B. Shepard, and Walton Schura. From the Marines, John Glenn. We would like to wish these men good luck in their vital roles. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bob Gilroth. I'm here on February 21st to tell you about the Mercury flights. Shepard gets first flight, Grissom gets second flight, and Glenn's back up the pearls.
ABC Television News Network presents American Newsstand, the mid-afternoon report with the accent on youth.
Today is May 5th, 1967. We're here in Cape Kennedy Naval Base Center. I'm here to report the launching of Freedom 7 off the Redstone vehicle. It is the first manned spacecraft to be sent up to space. It is piloted by Alan B. Shepard. Because of the Manning tests run by the U.S., the Soviets have beat us up into space with Yuri Gagarin to be the first man up into space. There's a sharp contrast in the responsibility the U.S. has taken in ensuring the safety of all involved and the speed at which the program has been developing. As a nation, the U.S. needs to speed up its space program in order to maintain its placing and standings with the other world powers. We'll take you over to Alan B. Shepard to see the space launch itself.
Commencing countdown. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignited. We have liftoff.
Liftoff of Freedom 7. Fuel is go. Holding at 17 psi. Oxygen is go. 98%. Altitude is raising. 500 feet. Oxygen is go. Pressure is go. Thrust is maximum. Nominal thrust. Oxygen is still go. This is Freedom 7. May 5th, 1961. Altitude is raising at 100 meters per second. $5,000 feet. Okay, Freedom 7 here. Capcom, do you read me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Pressure is nominal. Thrust is nearing zero as we reach apoapsis. We're at 116.5 miles.
The periscope is out. Clean tower jettison. All systems go. Detaching first stage now. Okay, SAS is nominal. We are in our orbital attitude.
Okay, this is Freedom 7. We are switching to manual pitch.
Freedom 7, it's a go.
Alright, Freedom 7 here. We are switching to manual roll.
Freedom 7, you're a go.
Roll looking good.
What a wonderful view. Report that there is a cloud cover across all of the eastern seaboard up to Cape Hatteras. Boy, that is breathtaking. Okay, Capcom, we are entering descent phase. 5/100 of a G recognized, rapidly increasing. Okay, we're at 9 Gs. All systems are still go. 11 Gs. This is maximum Gs. Okay, all systems are still go. Okay, Capcom.
all systems are go. We are at 10,000 feet. Can we deploy the drogue?
Okay to deploy.
Okay, deploying drogue now. Okay, drogue is out. It's at 70% capacity. We are still falling at 80 feet per second.
Vital good.
Okay, main chute deploying now. Okay, everything is still A-OK, Capcom. We are coming down 30 feet per second. We are approaching the water. We are about 500 feet away, approaching at 20 feet per second. Okay, approaching. We have reached 100 feet above the water. Okay, impact in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are down safely. Capcom Freedom 7 has been a success.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Space Committee, who are with us today, of our Space Council, and who bears great responsibilities in this field, the members of the House and Senate Space Committee, who are with us today, and this decoration, which has gone from the ground up here.
The exploration of space will go ahead, and no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in the race for space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we, this nation, are first, and therefore we intend to be that. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in the decades and do other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Many years ago, the great British explorer George Mallory was one to die on Mount Everest. Was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there, and new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, we sail and ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventures on which man has ever embarked. Thank you.
Sorry to inform you, but the Meniere's disease is going to cause you to have to be out of spaceflight for quite a while.
It looks like we're going to have to switch you to the chief of astronauts for the first 3 Apollo missions. Your job as chief of astronauts is to instruct other astronauts on equipment and training.
This is the command pod. You're right there. The orientation. There's the fuel. Rods for the RCS. The air vents are right there. The visor is off, but I don't have that on right now. These are UV protection from the sun on the moon because it has very. Alright, we have successful docking of Gemini. Yeah.
ABC Television News Network presents American Newsstand, the mid-afternoon report with the accent on youth.
Today is January 27th, 1967. We are on site at Cape Kennedy for the Apollo 1 ground testing. In the capsule we have Gus Grissom, Edward White, and Robert Chaffee. They are sitting in the command capsule atop the Saturn IB rocket. Our space program has proceeded rapidly since Project Mercury. We are awaiting the test results from this ground test.
There's a fire sweeping through the control pod. Call emergency services right away. We need fire trucks and ambulances ASAP.
Breaking news. It appears a fire has broken out in the command pod. It has engulfed the entire capsule and the astronauts are trapped inside.
We found the cause to be faulty wiring in the command pod.
We can't let a simple design error like this cost the lives of 3 Americans.
The funding for NASA is going to decrease significantly because of this. God.
We have learned that all 3 lives have been lost, and we will remember these men as heroes. The causes have been found that the poor wiring in the command module has caused these problems. It is evident that the capsules needs to be redesigned. It took Mission Control 7 hours to get these poor men out of the capsule. They were helplessly trapped inside, while the design flaws have made it so that they could not open the door. It is evident that the integrity of our space program has declined since the Mercury project, and that we need to be more concerned with the safety of the men involved. One must wonder what the effects of aggressive political competition are on the security of the programs we are competing for. While we may have the right to explore space, we have to have a greater responsibility on mankind. Unfortunately, the moon mission has received a drop in funding, but we are certain that NASA has learned their lessons and will proceed as best they can.
Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins, your vitals are looking good.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We have liftoff.
Alright, Apollo 13, we hear you. It looks like your oxygen tank PSI is decreasing rapidly. We need to get you into the lunar module to preserve your oxygen supply. Okay, Apollo 13, we are looking for a solution to the carbon dioxide filters in the lunar module.
The engineers who developed the oxygen tanks cycled the switches at too high of a voltage and it fried the wires.
Engineering action almost cost the lives of 3 more Americans. It was such a narrow chance that they survived, and I was supposed to be on that flight. We can't continue to let this happen. We have a responsibility to maintain the lives of these Americans if we're going to continue our manned space program.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch command liftoff. We have liftoff with Apollo 14. 3 minutes past the hour. The tower is clear.
Mitchell, are you clear?
Houston is controlling. Round south. 16 seconds. Mission roll program started. 14 maneuvering to the proper flight course.
Gravity turn is looking successful. Thrust phenomenal.
Roger, roll complete. Shepard reports roll program completed. Profile in progress.
Second stage decoupling. Alright, second stage ignition. All systems are go. Cabin pressure holding. Completing gravity turn. This is the orbital insertion. Third stage decouple. Let's go. Oh, look at that. Drift back down to Earth. Okay, third stage ignition. Okay, now we can move on to the lunar injection. Starting thrusters in 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Okay, boys, we're on our way.
Great job.
Okay.
Everything good.
Oxygen nominal.
Need to go.
Okay, you are safe to move around the command pod. Okay, helmet coming off. Alright, we are all clear. Okay, we are preparing to enter from the command module to the lunar module. Okay, so we are going on EVA now, opening the airlock in 3, 2, 1, go. The airlock is opening, and we are on our way. Okay, Mission Control, I hear you loud and clear. Mitchell and I have just gotten into Antares, the lunar module.
and we have completed a successful docking with the command mod piloted by Rusa. Go for the next procedure. Okay, we are starting. We are undocking from the command module. Okay, firing retro ignition. Okay, we are coming down for the landing. Here we go. Okay, approaching the moon surface to Fra Mauro. Looks like we're coming up a little right of our destination. We are decreasing at 3 feet per second. You're looking good, Mitchell. Keep going. About 30% thrust. Okay. Keep going. Crater here is about 50 feet to our right, so I think you're good to land here. Okay, 3 feet per second, decreasing, 50 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet, right face down, and Antares has landed in Fra Mauro. Mission Control, we have touched the surface of the moon and have landed safely.
Apollo 14 has touched down at Fra Mauro, only 85 feet from the predicted landing site.
Congratulations, Mission Control. Mission Control, we are getting ready to deploy the MET, the MET, on the surface. Boy, it certainly is a stark place. Mission Control, are we go for liftoff? Okay, thank you. Mitchell, as the engine activated? Yes, it is. Okay, liftoff in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh boy, what a liftoff. Okay, we're on our way. Okay, Mitch and I are back in back in Kitty Hawk, the command pod, and we are on our way home. The retro burners have put us back into a Earth orbit injection.
Mission Control preparing for re-entry. February 9th, 1971, we are beginning re-entry. Mission time 9 days, and we are looking good for re-entry. We are going over 24,000 miles an hour, and we are entering the upper Earth's atmosphere now. This is it. All systems are go. We are all A-OK. I repeat, A-OK. So Mitchell, how are you doing? Okay, main tube path deployed. We are all systems go. We have 95 pounds of moon rock coming home. We see the ocean and parachutes performing.